Good evening, vinyl community. It's time for the North Carolina Vinyl Picker Show. And if you were looking for me on Wednesday, I didn't have a show Wednesday. I kind of took a couple days off. Been going to the park and doing other stuff around the house and yard work, and it's just been a busy summer. So now it's Saturday. It's time for the Picker Show. And on tonight's show, I went to a couple of thrift stores this week. Didn't do too much going out. And buying mostly stuff that I've been buying from my PayPal. And then if I sell some items on my store, then I use that money to go buy things I want rather than going out and looking for stuff and then coming up empty, if that makes any sense to y'all. That's what the picker's been doing lately. And I got a few things to show you, and I got a bunch in the pipeline. So, yeah, I want to talk to you about a guy that was huge in the late 70s and in the 80s. And he had another guy with him that sang with him and played with him. Now, this guy here had many, many top 40 hits. Lots of number one hits. I'm not going to tell you who this guy is. I want you guys to figure it out and put your comments down below. But he also teamed up in the 80s with a guitar player from a hugely popular progressive rock band and made a punk album. Yes, this guy made a punk album. I'm going to show you the album next week, and we're going to talk about it. But I'm not going to go ahead and tell you who the artist was or what the album is. And that's for you to figure out and write down your comments down below. And then I'm going to go through my top LPs/CDs of 2016. We're closing in on 2025. And then once we get to 2025, the week after, we're going to go through the prog bin. I'm going to go through all my progressive rock artists. Then I'm going to pull a few from the library and add them to them at the end. So it's going to be cool. And it's going to take about at least a few months to go do all that. So where are we going to start this week? Well, I'm going to start on the things that I found because I noticed that that's more popular than going back 10 years and 12 years. I ask a lot of times for people to comment, what were you listening to in 2014, 15, 2000, whatever, or back in the 90s, or back in the 80s, or way back in the 70s, and I get this crickets. So it's okay. I'll leave it for the end, and that way there, if you drop off, which most people do after 5 minutes, then yeah. So anyway, I went to Goodwill. Enough ranting. I went to Goodwill and found a few things this week, which is pretty cool because I'm going to drop them in the store. Black Sabbath, Paranoid. Pearl Jam, Lost Dogs. These are all minty mint. They're all real nice. If they're not nice, I don't even pick them up. They're $1.99 at Goodwill, at the Goodwill that I go to. Penguin Cafe Orchestra, When in Rome. This is a live CD of the Penguin Cafe Orchestra. Fantastic band. Terry Draper, who passed away recently. And another Terry Draper album. Now, he was the lead guy, the main guy in the Canadian band Klaatu. These two CDs are pretty cool. They're really nice shape. Susan Chiante, The Velocity of Love. That's right. This is a great new age album, and I found a really nice copy of it. So I put that in my store. So those 5 are going in the store. And I went through this week all my CDs. I took them all off the racks and stuff. Went through them all. Took the best of the best. And I put in about 200 CDs, and I dropped them into my store. So there'll be a link down below if you want to go to eBay and pick some up. I got a stack of mail like this much I got to send out tomorrow. So I got more stuff I got to send out. I sent more out the other day. So it's really been getting good. I've really been having a good time. So I found a few things online that I wanted and to add to the library. Now I'm going to save this one for last because that's the banger. That's the banger right there. And there's another banger. I got 2 bangers. Okay, so I got Greg Lake, Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Everybody knows who Emerson, Lake and Palmer is. But after they broke up, or one of the times they broke up, Greg Lake made a couple of solo albums. And he made those albums with a guitar player that is totally freaking awesome. And what was his name? I'm drawing a brain fart right now. But this is the album here, and it's called Maneuvers, and it's Greg Lake and Gary Moore. That's who I'm thinking of. Gary Moore, of course, Gary Moore. The late Gary Moore. Both of them have passed away, actually. Gary Moore and Greg Lake have passed away. It's a really good. It's a good album. It has that 80s sound. So if you don't like the 80s sound, you probably won't like this album here, or the other solo album that Greg Lake did during that time away from Emerson, Lake and Palmer in the 80s. I've been looking for this one. I found it online. Found it in YouTube, eBay. Yeah, eBay. Robert Fripp, The League of Gentlemen. Another fantastic record. I had this album back in the day. This went out with the first Purge in the early 90s. And there's lots of people on this album. With Robert Fripp, Sarah Lee, bass guitar, and that's not the person that made the Danish, I don't think. And Johnny Too Bad on drums. And Barry Andrews on organ. I don't know if those are all fictitious names or what. But, yeah. Great album. And it lists on the back all the dates he was going to be live and stuff. I got a few more Robert Fripp things coming in the mail. And I told you all that story when I went and saw the Thrax tour. And I had my Pulse button on here. And Robert Fripp, I was sitting down with my nephew. And we were sitting down pretty early. They were still like warming up. And we sat, they let us in. And we were on the left side and right in front of where Fripp was sitting down. And he told me to take that button off and put it in my pocket. So I talked to Robert Fripp. Can you believe it? The North Carolina vinyl picker. Yeah, Big Chief. I wasn't Big Chief. Well, I was Big Chief then. But, yeah, Joe Satriani. Look at this record. Surfing with the Alien. Now, that is cool. Now, I really have never listened really too much of Joe Satriani. I know my buddy John, he lives up in Canada now. I was in the Navy with him. He liked Joe Satriani, and I just never picked up on him. But if you like Robin Trower or Alan Holdsworth, any of those great, guitar player, Eric Johnson comes to mind as another one. There's so many of them. I should do a show of my top 10, or I probably have to stretch it out. My top 20 guitarists. I've been thinking about doing a show about my top 20 guitarists, but there's so many of them. There's hundreds of them. It'd be hard to knock down to 20. But Joe Satriani might make that list, man. This album will blow your head off, man. It's just unbelievable. Fantastic record. I had to pick this one up. I streamed it first, and I'm like, holy shit. Oh, Scheitskis. What's he says? Isn't that what he says? Scheitskis? Okay, now we're going to talk about the elephant in the room. Jason Rojas showed this record on his show, and it's the Billy Joel Attila. Now, Attila record costs anywhere from like $150 to $300, $400. It's Billy Joel's album. He did the Hassles first. That was a band. He was in the Hassles. And then later on, he was in he made another album with another guy, and they called themselves Attila. And the album cover is like almost a takeoff on the Butcher cover. It has hanging meat and stuff. And these guys look like warriors. But this one here is an Italian pressing of this. I got this off of Discogs. And there's still more available on this Italian press. I paid $12 for this. And it's the whole album minus one song. And so there you go. So if you want to get that Billy Joel Attila, this album here is a mind melter. You never thought Billy Joel would do an album like this. This album is just fantastic. Yeah. So it's nothing like his other stuff. It's nothing like Piano Man all the way up to the last album. It's nothing like that at all. It's more like Deep Purple. That's what it is. Or Uriah Heep or some of those early 70s bands. That's what it sounds like. But it has a lot of progressive rock in it too. So I think you'd really enjoy it if you went out and bought a copy of that. California Flash. Okay, well, we're at the time of the show where we're 10 minutes in already, and I just been shooting my mouth off. I'm going to talk to a person, a friend of mine, and see if I can get something on the computer to make all different kinds of stuff like that, and all kinds of people seem to like all that stuff. So I'm going to try to figure it out and see if I can bring it to the table. So here we go. I'm going to spread these out, and I'm going to go through here my top 10 records slash CDs of 2016. What were you listening to in 2016? Yeah, you over there. You. Oh, and you over there. You too. Yeah. What were you listening to in 2016? That's like, what, 9 years ago? Okay, I got this all figured out now. I think I got this for you. Are you ready? Okay, everybody's ready? Little Johnny in the front row, are you ready? Okay, let's start off with this one here. This is a 45 by Steven Wilson, and it's called Happiness 3. Okay, anybody else got this 45 out there? Anybody else know who Steven Wilson is? Anybody wants to go with me to New York to go see Steven Wilson in September? Anybody want to do a meetup in New York in September when I'm up there? Lots of questions, huh? Coming in at number 10, this is a song that wasn't on Hand Cannot Erase. It's an extra song, and they put it out on 45. Coming in at number 9, Anderson Ponte Band, APB. Yes, John Anderson in 2000 and whatever year we're in, 2016, he made an album with Jean-Luc Ponty. That's right. How did I sound there? Is my French any good? So there you go. This is the picture disc of that. I don't know if they made an actual album. I think it was just the picture disc and the CD. But it sounds fantastic. It sounds fantastic. And it's number 9. And the album is incredible. So if you love John Anderson and you love Jean-Luc Ponty, then this might be just what you need. But I'm sure you can pick up the CD for a lot cheaper. I don't have a copy in my store, by the way. I mean, you can go look and find something else, but it wasn't in there. Coming in at number 8. Coming in at number 8. This is Steven Wilson 3.5. And what this is it's songs that were on Hand Cannot Erase and The Raven That Refused to Sing. It's songs that from those two albums, and there were extra songs. There were B-sides or whatever. And they put them out on a standalone LP. They're coming in at number 8. A lot of Steven Wilson in 2016. I was heavily into him. He's my favorite artist today as he was then. Coming in at number 7. Here, I'll pick this one. Steve Hackett, The Total Experience live in Liverpool. I seen Steve Hackett do 2 of these Genesis shows. They're fantastic. Nad Sylvan, should I say, lead singer up there, number 1 album of the week. He just has a fantastic voice. He can make his voice sound like Gabriel, and he can make his voice sound like Phil Collins. So it just sounds like Nad to me, Nad Sylvan. And he always has a fantastic band. And this is a beautiful, beautiful show. Coming in at number 6, what I got left here, hopefully I got it right. Coming in at number 6 is King Crimson live in Toronto CD. So this got all kinds of songs on here from the 2015, and then it was released in 2016. And this is in my store. So if you're looking for a CD and you're looking for this CD, then go to the store. You'll find it there, as well as this show here, because all my Blu-rays and DVDs are in my store as well. I think I'm down to number 5. Coming in at number 5 is this one here, Steven Wilson, Transcends. This is his best of album. So he made a best of album in 2000. He must have owed this company a bunch of records at the end of his contract, because he put a bunch of stuff out this year. This is Transcends, and this is his best of album of all his greatest hits that no one's ever heard of. No, he's a fantastic artist. He did well. If you don't know Steven Wilson, he is the leader of the band, a little band from England called Porcupine Tree. So there you go. Coming in at number 4. Coming in at number 4 is another Steven Wilson. These are a couple of live shows that I picked up. One of them just about 6-7 months ago, maybe 8 months ago. And there are Cats and Trains and Pure Stars. And both of these were recorded live in Israel, where Steven Wilson's wife is from. And he also made albums with Avia, I forget his name. He's the band is called Blackfield, and Steven Wilson is on 4 or 5 of his records, and he is Israeli as well. So Steven Wilson has big ties in Israel. Steven Wilson, this one here, Cats and Trains, and this one here is called Pure Stars. This is the one that I found up there with the Zonk Man when I was at a record show about a half a year ago or so. Coming in at number 3, which one do I go with? Okay, there's another project that John Anderson did in 2016. It's called Anderson Stoll, and it's called The Invention of Knowledge. Another fantastic record. Like I say, if you love John Anderson, you need both of these. The John Luponti one and this one here with Ronnie Stoll from the Flower Kings. This fantastic records all the way around. I was so surprised when I found this online for like $20. I never had the CD of this. I used to have a CDR of it, probably in the mystery box in the other room with all my CDR. I got hundreds of them from the 2000s because that's what we did back then. That's what we did back then for all you young people. Coming in at number 2, which one do I pick? They're both fantastic. I don't know which one to pick. I'm gonna pick this one. I was gonna pick the other one. This one here is Steven Wilson, Through the Looking Glass, and I've teased this once before. This is a bootleg of the show from Hand Cannot Erase. It's the whole concert, and I would never sell this. I'll tell you that right now. It's the concert on DVD and also on CD. So the whole thing is on here. And I think in Discogs, I'm the only person on there that has this. And there's hundreds of people that want it. And I don't even know what you would put a price on this thing for. It would have to be thousands of dollars to get it out of my hands. I know that much. Coming in at number 1. And this is Marillion. I can't believe next year this album will be 10 years old. I love Marillion. They're one of my top 5 bands. And it's called Fear. F Everyone and Run. Fantastic record. Just inside and out. Every song, every track is just fantastic. And then they made another fantastic record a few years later, and they're due for a new album. I think it's either the end of this year or next year their new album will be coming out. But this album here, don't sleep on this album. If you can find a CD copy or even stream it, it's Marillion, F Everyone and Run. Great album. That's it. That's my top 10 of 2016. Did you recognize any of those, Steve? Do you see any of those on there that you need or that you knew of? Probably not. I'm not sure. So next week we're going to talk about that mystery guy. Who do you think it is? That's all I got for this week. I'll see you Wednesday. I'm going to try to do a show on Wednesday this week. I'm going to be out going ahead and trying to find some cheap heat this week. So we're going to go back on the streets. We're going to go back in the bushes. We're going to go back on the road, in those dark alleyways, down dirty roads to look and find some cheap heat to bring to the table next week. And then I got some really good stuff coming in the mail. So I'll see you next week. Looking forward to seeing you Wednesday. We'll do a quickie on Wednesday. Go Yankees and support the troops and all that stuff. And I'll talk to you soon. North Carolina Vinyl Picker. I'm under 20. Bye for now.